Good evening, everybody. I'm Kyle Smith alongside Chris Randall. It's the battle of the Mid-Suburban League, the Wheeling Wildcats in the blue and yellow. They're on the road taking on the Elk Grove Grenadiers. Well, Chris, it's not the season that both teams wanted. Elk Grove with an 8-match losing streak, Wheeling not so great themselves, 5 games, but you try to erase that tonight and focus on the volleyball at hand. One team will have their winning streak started, and the other team, the losing streak, will continue.
Yeah, absolutely. You said it right. Elk Grove 7-15 on the year, while Wheeling is 10-15. Both teams coming off a loss, like you said. Last win for Elk Grove was September 9th, and the last win for Wheeling was September 19th. So long losing streaks out of hand. One of them's going to snap today.
The good news for Elk Grove, that game on September 9th was against Wheeling.
Yes, absolutely. It was a
Yeah,
2-1 win.
It's frustrating, too, because it's one of those interesting scenarios. For Elk Grove, they were 7-7. They were at 500. It looked like they were trending upwards, and then 8 matches in a row. And then for Wheeling, they were 10-10, and then five-match losing streak. So both teams were on the precipice of success, and this losing streak is really hurting their chances of getting a good seed for the regional.
Yeah, that's very well said. Last time I was here, it was Elk Grove and Palatine. Elk Grove took the Palatine Pirates to the brink. Third set, they were in it all the way. Very good Palatine school. And it's just kind of fallen off from there, like you've said.
What's interesting, both of these teams are pretty evenly matched in terms of height. Elk Grove does have an inch in terms of an advantage over Wheeling. They have the freshman, Angelica Dilag, and you've seen her a couple times. She is really impressive for just a freshman.
Yeah, absolutely. She switches in and out with Julia Jakorzinska, who's a senior, and it is senior night here in Elk Grove. So Elk Grove Grens could get up for it, but yeah, you said it. Angelica Dilag, freshman, she's going to be a good start for this Grenadiers team.
And then 2 players for the Wildcats that are 5'10". Katie Moser, the outside hitter, and at middle hitter, Vanessa Sayar-Juajak. So you got both teams that have some size, and we'll see if Dilag with that 5'11", 1-inch advantage can do some damage near the middle and in front of the net.
Yeah, absolutely. And they also try and go outside towards the senior Lauren Brunn. Whenever they seem to need a point, they go towards her direction. She's usually on the far side where we're sitting, hitting across the court.
The liberos tonight, it'll be Emma Gomez, number 30 for Elk Grove, and for Wheeling, it'll be number 1, Selin Herdogan. Emma Gomez, she's a little girl, just 5'3", and there's definitely an advantage in height for Wheeling. Selin Herdogan is 5'6".
Yep.
Starting lineups brought to you by Elk Grove Television. For Wheeling, they're going to start Emmy Taba, as well as Christine Stoimenova. Maya Hulsman will start as well. In the front row will be Layla Conklin, as well as Lindsay Kane. For the Grenadiers, they're going to start Sammy Daly. In the back row, it'll be Lauren Brunn. Also in the front row will be Angelica Dilag. We talked to her about her life partner. She's kind of the difference maker to see if they can end this 8-match losing streak.
It seems to be it's going to be an Elk Grove start here.
Elk Grove with an interesting formation. They got 3 girls at least right now that are all next to each other, but I assume they'll start spreading out before the serve. Meanwhile, it's scattered, kind of like a U shape for the Wildcats. Also starting for Elk Grove tonight will be Olivia Eugene, the sophomore. It's senior night today in Elk Grove. They got a lot of them, partner. It's kind of surprising how much they've struggled with 9 seniors on this team.
Yeah, you said there's 9 of them, and there's going to be a lot of turnover for this Grenadiers team next year. But as long as they keep the freshman and the junior Sammy Daly, who's had a great year as well, they could have a decent season as long as some turnover from the sophomore squad comes up.
Yeah, and you always wonder about the travel teams, the 8th graders that are going to be coming in, feeding into Elk Grove. And here we go. It'll be the libero and Gomez to take it for the Grenadiers as we're about to start here on Elk Grove Television. Over the net, it's played by libero and Wheeling. Now over to the front row. It's played by Lawson. And it's a kill that time for Lawson. Well, served by Elk Grove and Lawson with a big-time kill. It'll be Katie Moser to take this serve. Moser with it. Overhand serve to the back row. Bump set, and then spiked down that time by Lawson. 2 kills already for Lawson, partner. What is she doing so well in front of the net?
Yeah, she's just taking advantage over the Elk Grove miscommunications. 2 girls went after the serve on that one, and then no one was home right in the middle for the dig.
Katie Moser will take it again. Almost touched the top of the ceiling, but it did not. No look bump, and then back over to the Wheeling end. The spike that time by Hulsman on the Elk Grove end. Big time kill, and it's delivered by Elk Grove's finest, Vanessa Witkowski. We'll get some rotations here for both teams. And on the serve for the Grenadiers will be Witkowski. Straight over the net. From the back row, sent it over to the front row. There's Lawson again, trying to get her 3rd kill. 2-1 advantage right now for Wheeling. Bumped it, another spike. Instead it's just tapped over. Blocked partially, dig, couple of digs. That's the 4th hit, but it counts as a 3 because of the block. 3rd hit for Elk Grove. Big time kill, we're all knotted up at 2, Chris.
Angelica Dilac with 2 great kills. The first one was dug up, but that one finds the back right corner. And that's the freshman skills right there.
Always nice when you have a player that's going to be on the varsity team for 4 years. And Dilag, she has height, Chris, but she also has athleticism.
Yeah.
Bumped over to the front as it was played by Taba.
And there she is with a block as well. It looked like Marisa Ayala was also part of that block.
So it was 2-0. Now 3-2, a 3-0 run for Elk Grove. Bump by the libero. It's not an ace, Chris, and libero that time, and Herdogan, she's got to get better of getting lower to bump that straight up for her front
absolutely.
row.
She is only a junior, so it could be first couple, well, not first couple matches, but a couple growing pains still with the junior.
Back to the front row for the Grenadiers. They get it over. It was off the bump of Moser. Now here's a set and a spike attempt. Block and a beauty. And a point awarded for the Grenadiers. On it was Gabar.
This is a great run by Vanessa Witkowski at serve for the Gruns.
Nobody wants to lose 9 in a row, and you can sense the frustration by Elk Grove, and they're taking it to the Wheeling Wildcats right now. Great decision that time by Wheeling's Katie Moser to say kill, 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 get away from it. As the libero and Herdogan will take a seat on the rotation.
Yeah, once again, there was 2 Elk Grove players going for the bump just to get the free ball over, but it was mishit.
Krishnan, played by libero and Gomez, now to the front row. Spike, dug out by Krishnan. Goes out of bounds, trying to get it was Hulsman, but she couldn't. 6-3. Well, this is the right time to play Wheeling. They're reeling right now, a 5-match losing streak, and maybe some confidence brewing for Elk Grove. They know coming into this match, the last time they won was against these Wildcats.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sent over to the front row. Hulsman on the spike. And it's going to be a point awarded for Wheeling as it was tried to be blocked by Dilag, but she couldn't get the proper block that she wanted. And it's a 6-4 lead now for the Grenadiers.
Yeah, looking on that Gren side, we talked a lot about Angelica Dilac, who's still in there, but she's used to switch off with Jack Korzinska, and she hasn't even checked into the ball game yet.
Partial spike off the libero of Herdogan. And it was off the hands of Hulsman on the spike over to the Elk Grove end. Gomez, no look bump, over to Herdogan to the front row. It was a block attempt that time by Gabar, but she couldn't get both hands on it, and it's a point for the Wheeling Wildcats.
Yeah, Hulsman with the spike for the Wheeling.
Back and forth we go. It almost looked like Elk Grove was going to take it to the Wildcats, but a good answer by Wheeling.
Yeah, there was one rotation that Wheeling or Palatine just killed Elk Grove on. I wonder if this is the rotation for Elk Grove right now.
Herdogan could not dig that out. Give credit where credit is due to the freshman, but Herdogan's struggling a little bit right now for the Wildcats.
Yeah, absolutely. Not in the right place at the right time, and Dilac is just taking care of business on her end as she goes back to serve now.
See what adjustments the Wildcat coaching staff tells Herdogan. That's an ace right there. There was a lot of topspin action on that serve, so let's give credit where credit is due to Dilac. 8-5. She's definitely a difference maker on the court, just a freshman. And there's 2 sophomores on this team as well. Dug out by Herdogan. And a kill and a beauty that time for Maya Hulsman. And she rotates to the serve. 8-6. Wheeling led 2-0, and that's it. It's been all Elk Grove in terms of the lead since then. Hulsman gets it over the net. Dug out well, that time by Witkowski to the front of the net. Now back over to the Wheeling end. No-look bump by Moser. Gubar with the bump. Set over to the net as it was fed over to Brunn. Now to the front of the net, played by Moser. Onto the side of the Grenadiers. Was that in? No. Okay. It was a late call by the ref, so I was thinking that really weird dig by Hulsman was going to be a kill, but you want to push that downwards, not straight through. It's going to go out of bounds every time.
Yep. As you said, though, Elk Grove is really trying to pull away with this game early, but Wheeling is still hanging in. It's 3 right now, but it was as most as 4.
Be careful not to push on those sets. The refs are letting it go right now to the front row. Moser, beautiful block that time by the Grenadiers. The block was from Daly, but a point awarded for the Wheeling Wildcats, 9-7. But can they finish the comeback? They get a point here and there, but then Elk Grove answers.
Yep, Sanchez with the miss hit and just sent it right into the net.
Good things to come for Elk Grove in the future. They have 3 underclassmen already on this varsity roster. As Moser tried to spike it, she was in a bad spot though. She was on her back foot and tried to spike it on her back leg. It's going to be hard to do.
They actually gave the point to Wheeling there as one of the Elk Grove players went over the net. So Wheeling was awarded with the point.
A break for Wheeling. That's a big call because it went from 10-7 to 9-8.
Yep. And they get it back.
Did she touch the nets? She did. Elk Grove touched the net.
Twice in a row. 2 back-to-back points.
That time I agree with the ref. She clearly touched it.
Yep.
Sending it over to the front row. And an error that time by Daly. And just like that, Wheeling is back on top. That partner for this Elk Grove team, how do they make sure to not overthink it? I know you have an 8-match losing streak coming into tonight, but you can't just think, oh my gosh, here we go again.
Yeah, it's definitely tonight's bigger factor as well, playing for your seniors, knowing that this could be their last ever volleyball match on their home court. So definitely just thinking more of them and not yourself, and trying to get out there and get a W for them.
Timeout called by Elk Grove. We'll stick with the action, 11-9. Exciting volleyball, kind of what we expected. Both teams evenly matched.
Yep.
The last time Elk Grove won was against this Wheeling team, and you saw that early on, but sometimes we've seen some mistakes by the underclassmen as well by the Elk Grove Grenadiers.
Yeah, I will say, last time the Elk Grove won was against this Wheeling school, but during that as well, Wheeling did sweep Elk Grove 2-0 on their home court. So both teams have gotten a win in this series, you could say, for this year. So this is the rubber match right here in Elk Grove.
I'm liking the baseball innuendos
yeah.
there.
Well, out of this timeout, you just gotta say, forget those last 2 points, forget those 2 net taps, and just go with the flow. Try and win this point right here.
The Wildcats are led by head coach Jason Kopkowski. Of course, Coach Terra, who leads the Elk Grove Grenadiers. This is a special night for the coaching staff of the Grenadiers. one of the games you circle on the calendar, senior night, you don't want to lose on your home court.
Yeah.
From libero to libero, now to the front row. Beautiful block by Moser. She tries to dig it out, back to the front row. Herdogan thought about going after it. Instead, it was bumped by Hulsman. Now to the front row. Both players went after it, and point awarded for the Grenadiers.
Yeah, great call there by the Grens. Yeah, it was a miss hit by the Wildcats, but they went to their star player, Lauren Brunn, who they go to every time they need a point. Happened a couple times this one, and now it's finally been awarded.
11-10 score, as it was served that time by Brunn. Now to Moser, over the net, beautiful bump. From the libero to the front row. Set over the net, bump, another one. They'll have to do a third one because that's the third hit. Set, another set to the front row, left-handed spike, but it's read well that time by Moser. Moser will spike this one. Thought about going after it that time by Brunn, decided against it, and it's a point awarded for the Grens.
Yeah, a left-handed spike there. Annabelle Sanchez uses her dominant left hand. So we'll see. That's a very big advantage if they could keep that on the outside there, or to be able to go across court.
Over the net it goes. It was spiked that time by Moser. She could not keep it in though. Point awarded for the Grens. They haven't updated the score yet, but it should be 13-11. Moser over to Lawson. Good teamwork that time by the Wildcats. And it's 12-12. I must have miscounted. It is 12-12.
Yeah, that one was almost sent to the ceiling after it hit the bounce off the spike by Conklin.
So Milicheva takes a seat. Taba into the game. To the front row. Good pass. Huge block, though, by Conklin. And now over to Herdogan. To the front row. Trying to block it. Could not get the full block on it. And it's a point awarded for the Wildcats.
Yeah, Conklin's second straight kill for them.
It'll be Emmy Taba, the 5'6" setter, as she's on the serve. Gomez with it. To the front row. Switching hands at the last second. And maybe a mistake that time by Sanchez, that she just couldn't get a read on that pass.
Yeah. She thought it was a little bit farther out than what it was, and then just hit it on the way down into the net.
Third hit coming up as it's bumped by Gabar, and now over to the front row. Set over to the front row. Kill awarded for the Grenadiers as Layla Conklin got a late read on it. Point awarded for the Grens.
Yeah, I believe Gabar will get the kill with that one as she just floated it over.
To the front row now. Good block.
Dilag
by Daly. It's the D's, Dilag and Daly, creating havoc against the Wildcats.
Yeah, Elk Grove went through all their rotations, so they're back here with the serve with Gomez, and they're notched up, 14-14.
With a full head of steam, spiked by Moser, goes back over to the Grens end. And it's a point awarded for the Grens. It's exciting volleyball.
Yeah, it's been close. Great to see competitiveness. Probably something that both of these schools have lacked in these 13 games respectively.
Nobody wants to lose 9 in a row. Nobody wants to lose 6 in a row. You're seeing that added intensity tonight. Yeah. One team is going to have their losing streak ended, and both teams giving their hearts out right now on the floor. Moser. Back over to Grens. It was off the bump of Brunn. And then spiked over the net, but it went out of bounds. Point awarded, Wildcats. Katie Moser along with Sayer Gaijuk, both 5'10". Moser, an outside hitter, just a junior. Bumped over. Grenadiers on their third hit. There's Moser. She dives for it. Then off the hands of Taba. And out of play. Point awarded Grenz.
Yeah, great diving effort there by Katie Moser to just keep it up. Would have been tough to get a point or get it over the net, but at least the diving effort there, like you said, everyone's giving it their hearts out.
All out tonight, 100% effort. Might go 3 sets. Straight over the net. Bump to the front row. Good pass. Block attempt and a beauty. Gabor with a great play, and it's 18-15 now in favor of the Grands. It'll be a serve now for Witkowski. Might have been a double hit, and it was. What is this front row of Daly, Dilag, and now Gabor doing so well that's creating so many problems for the Wildcats?
Yeah, they're just reading it, trying to find the play. They know anywhere that they go, they could get up and block anything. It's just getting to the right spot in the right time, and they've done that certainly well here in this first set. As the points here have come, you could say the difference 19-15 right now. Those difference points is the blocks coming by those two centers that you've said a lot.
Yeah, it seems like both teams are doing a very good job of avoiding the double hits and not pushing the ball with the sets. And this has been the precedent set by the ref. It looks like he's not going to call that tonight.
Yeah. It did happen just there, but that one was an extremely obvious one.
Yeah.
Even if you don't know much about volleyball, you're like, you can't do that one.
This isn't soccer. You can't chest the ball.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, that was a clear double hit. But sometimes you'll see it. That's what makes being a ref so difficult. You have to call it from the opening whistle.
Yep. Yeah.
And then it has to be the same throughout the game. So if you miss stuff for the first couple of points, you have to stick with that consistency.
Yeah, exactly. I think for Elk Grove here, the message was just keep the pressure on. You're up by 4. Let's not lose this one. And while Wheeling, I'm sure it was, let's get this next point, and anything can happen once inside the 10-point mark.
And point awarded as the serve went out of bounds. Verdogen will take a seat. And now taking the serve will be Sandra Krishnan. Krishnan is a senior. Over the net it goes. Bumped. Krishnan over that time to Heelsman. Ref blows it dead, and a point awarded for the Grens. Verdogen back into the match. Taking a seat will be Krishnan, back in as well as Conklin. Nope, Conklin's taking a seat.
Yeah, that point was definitely given towards Emma Gomez. Diving effort just to save the initial serve. And they find a way to get a point.
Over to the front row. Beautiful block.
That one's Gubar and Daly.
Yeah, this is a three-headed monster right now, and Daly, Gabor, and Dilag creating havoc against the Wildcats. And the Wildcats are in a tough spot now.
Yeah.
Trailing by 5 with only 4 more points to work with. It's an error committed by Lawson, and she started off hot, partner, but she is ice cold.
Yeah.
These past couple of serves.
I think the, like you just said, the three-headed monster is really getting to the heads of these Wheeling players and knowing that they can't get a spike over the net right now because it's going to be tipped right back onto their side or tipped out of bounds possibly for Elk Grove. They're everywhere around the net.
What makes high school sports so great, every sport's single elimination.
Yep.
I'm not saying it would happen, but if Elk Grove went on a little bit of a run the last couple of games of the regular season, you go into the regionals, a team underestimates you. Elk Grove could win a couple of regional games. The same thing for Wheeling.
Yeah, that's very well said. You want to be playing the right ball, the good ball towards the end of the year, and we're really heading towards that. I believe Elk Grove has 4 or 5 matches left on their schedule, and they keep going with this Dilac, Daly, and Gubar, just Block City. They could definitely scare some people into the playoffs.
Even though they've lost 8 in a row, half of these matches are 2-1 losses. They're not getting swept 2-0. So the confidence can't be at an all-time low. If you were losing 8 in a row and you were getting swept, just being run off the floor every time, then that would get to you.
Yeah, no, that's very well said.
So they've been competitive in this 8-match losing streak. Good tap over by Moser, but Elk Grove with the answer. Back to the Grens. Set. 2 sets. Now a spike. And then reading it well, and on the bump was Moser. Moser on the spike, trying to get the kill, but back to the Grens. Front row. Setting it up that time to Brunn. And Brunn with the kill. 23-16, and not looking good for the Wildcats. Chris, you probably, if you're a Wildcat fan, you probably want this team and the Wildcats. Let's get a couple of points. Let's make it interesting. I don't think we're going to come back all the way down 23-16, but let's get some momentum going into set number 2.
Yeah, absolutely. You go back to, like you said, Noelle Lawson. Started off hot. She mishit one. Why lose the hot hand? She's the one that showed something early.
Kill awarded. Dilag. Set point. The timeout's working for the Grenadiers. Coach Tara knows her volleyball. Left-handed serve to the front row. Played now by Moser. And blocked out of bounds. It's a tall task, though, and that's an understatement when you're down 17-24.
Yeah. Other teams at set point. But like you said, you just want to try and get something rolling, go into set number 2 to get a win.
If you can get it to the 20s, the pressure starts to be on the Grens. Bump. And they'll just have to get it over the net, and they do. Now back over to the Wildcats. Tapped over by Moser. Now back to the Grens. Gomez with it to the front row. Brunn. Back over to Moser. Now to Hulsman. Hulsman with the kill. Hulsman with a huge kill, and that makes it 18-24.
Yeah, just split the arms of Brunn and Daly. As the block was there, just a little bit late there on Dilac's end.
Serve coming up for Lawson. Now to the front row. Good dig from Herdogan to the back row. A bump. And lack of communication for the Grens. Gomez and Sanchez, they weren't on the same page there, Chris.
No. That was we've seen a couple miscommunications from this Grens team. It's come back and bitten them once again. Now it's 24-19. And there it is.
Set point. Wildcats are arguing that she pushed the ball over the net. Possibly, but the ref hadn't called it all of that set.
Yeah, absolutely. It comes out to be a big victory. Get off right for this Elk Grove team. Senior night, 8-game losing streak, like you mentioned, all on the front of this broadcast. But now what would you say to this team winning the first set?
I really think, especially the way both teams have been struggling, the team who wins the first set's probably going to win the match, especially since it's on Elk Grove's home turf. It's not a long drive from Wheeling to Elk Grove, but it starts to get into the mindset now of the Wildcats. Man, we've lost 5. We're on the road. We're losing again. We saw some good things, but we couldn't finish the comeback. My, oh my, deja vu all over again. And I think that's what's happening right now for the mindsets of these Wildcat players. And, I mean, that's what makes this match tonight so interesting. Very rarely do you have a match where both teams have these long losing streaks. Yeah,
that's very well. And the one difference that we've kind of pointed out here for this Elk Grove team is they're losing their matches 2-1. They're in the games for the most part, while Wheeling, on the other hand, for the most part, is getting swept. So in their minds, they're like, oh, we're already down 1-0. They tense up a little bit here and play not loose. And that's, as a coach, what you would want is have your players play loose, have fun, and don't worry about the result at the end of the day, because they are just kids. But you do want them to loosen up and not tense up.
You brought up a good point, Chris. All 5 matches they got swept on this losing streak. That's got to get to you. What you have to be thinking is, look, we have a 5-match losing streak, but we are playing a team who's 7-15.
Yeah.
I do like the Bill Parcells mindset. You are what your record says you are. Some fans and some coaches don't exactly agree with that.
Yeah.
I agree with it. Elk Grove has some players, but there's also a reason why they've lost 8 in a row, and Wheeling has to think about that going into the second set.
Yeah, no doubt. They're both teams are where they at. Elk Grove still looking for that first conference win, so as they inch closer to the finish line as well, they may also have that on their mindset as well and make a couple more mistakes also. So both teams had their ups and downs. Both teams have their struggles. Which ones are going to make the least mistakes?
So going into this match, Wheeling, they've won 23 sets. They've lost 32. But with this 5-match losing streak, they were actually ahead in that category, 23-22, and now they're 0 for 10.
Yeah.
Now
So,
make it 0 for 11 coming into the second set.
yeah, absolutely. And as a coaching staff, that's tough to get your players to keep buying in. It's all part of the process. And, they're going to come around. It seems like a lot of juniors maybe losing 4 or 5 seniors, but not as much as this Elk Grove team, where if it was on the other side, Elk Grove is losing 9 seniors. So there's a lot of buy-in still left with this Wheeling team, where next year Elk Grove could have a completely different team.
Right, and for Wheeling, I mean, it's a young team, 5 sophomores. We talked about the young nature of Elk Grove with a freshman and 2 sophomores, but 5 sophomores, that's a lot for a varsity team.
Exactly, and you could say too, 10 and 15 with 5 sophomores. That could be turned around as a winning year, as all these players are going to have a year under their belt at the varsity level for next year, and they're only going to keep growing.
Serve coming up for Noel Lawson. Now over to Brunn to the front row. It was off the set of Gabor, and a point awarded for the Grens. 1-0. Gomez will take it. Gomez also a senior. They got to do some recruiting. Get the 8th graders that are multi-sport athletes. Hey, come out for volleyball in the fall.
Yeah, I coach as well, and I tell my girls there's no better competition or no better training than in-game training, no matter what the sport is.
Going to lose 9 seniors. See how Elk Grove does in the regionals. And it's off the fingertips at time of Daly. 2-1 lead now for the Grens. As Maya Hulsman, the junior, will take it. She bobbled it. Now she'll serve. Straight over the net. Gomez gets her hands ready for the bump and then sent over the net by Gabor to the front row. Over to Moser and now to the front row. Off the left hand, bumped by Hulsman. Now on the spike by Moser. Moser, kill. 2-2.
Yeah, right through the arms of Dilac. Hit it off her left one, just wasn't able to get enough of it.
See what adjustments head coach Jason Kopkowski along with assistants Jacob Del Toro and Rita Runyard told their players in the timeout. No look bump and now over on the side of the Wildcats. Hulsman with the spike. Hulsman awarded with the kill.
And that's where Elk Grove has struggled the most. It's a couple times this game and a lot during the Palatine game is defending that back row spike. It's gone for a couple points today and a lot of points last couple Tuesdays ago.
That time kill awarded for Stoimenova. Stoimenova, she's a senior. But yeah, you're right, partner. If you're going to lose, it's got to be on full-on kills right in the front of net. You cannot give up points off a bumper spike from the middle of the row.
Yeah.
Point awarded.
Yeah, that was just a solo middle versus middle. Angelica Dilac versus Christina Stoimenova, and Stoimenova won it.
Well, Wheeling got up to an early lead in the first set, but the Grenadiers came back. Meanwhile, Herdogan to the front row. Now to Moser. Partially blocked. Can't dig it out. The dig attempt by Gabor. Point awarded, and 2 more points happening in a row for Wheeling, and Coach Terry will have to call a timeout.
Yeah, and there it is.
Like I thought she would wait for 2 more points, but she calls an early timeout.
Yeah. Oh, something had definitely happened with this Grens team. They may have underestimated Wheeling a little bit, knowing they won the first set and they can just come out for the second set and the same thing will happen. But now you got to get on your players a little bit. Tell them, let's regroup here and let's win this next point and go on a run.
Yeah, you really don't want this to get to the third and deciding set if you're Elk Grove. Knowing that you've lost 8 in a row, even though you're at home, the doubt starts to creep into your mind a little bit. Oh my goodness, here we go again. Deja vu all over again.
Yeah, and this, of course, this is both teams are still here with the lower levels, but the Wheeling school is a little bit louder right now.
Well, you can't blame the fans when you're dealing with an 8-match losing streak. It is hard to get attendance to come to the game.
Without a doubt.
That's what makes the Cub game so interesting. Even when they were losing, they were still selling out.
Yep, no doubt.
Even when the Bulls were losing, they were still selling out. But most teams, when you're losing, the fans go away. 6-2. Over the net it goes. Good job by Gomez. The senior leadership showing there in a big way. Telling her players, get away from it. And that's a mistake by Hulsman. Don't give up points like that. Just get it over the net. Give your teammates a chance.
Yeah, now you have to face Witkowski, who's given him trouble serving all day so far.
Set over that time to Milchovcheva. And a point awarded for the Grenadiers. 6-4.
Yeah, here comes the run for the Gruns.
You're right, partner. It's been really tough for the Wildcats to answer Witkowski's serves. Moser to the front row. Back to Moser. Inbounds. Moser with a lot of athleticism on that play.
They're saying that hit the wire, so it's going to be awarded to the Gruns.
I did not hear a wire. Did you hear a wire?
I did not, no, but it was towards the direction, so we'll see. They said Grenadiers point, but yeah, that was definitely a gutsy call there by the ref.
It was an awkward hit. This is what I think the ref was thinking. It was an awkward hit by Moser. The ball went to the right, but her body was all the way over to the left, so she had to go all the way over. The chances of that not hitting the pole are slim to none. So I kind of see why the ref called it that way. 6-6, meanwhile, on the Gren's end. Point awarded. And the Gren's got to be better than that, Chris. Void the net, stop touching the net.
Yep, yeah. That's the third time. Last time they kind of went downhill once a couple net touches were handled. Now it's to see how they react after this one.
Straight over the net on the bump. Now to the front row. Gets it over the net. Oh, big time dig that time by Hulsman. Then bump straight over. Onto the side of the Grens. To the front row. Spike. Dug out by Herdogan. To the front row on the spike. Gomez with the answer to the front row. Left-handed spike. Herdogan with the set. 2 sets and a semi-spike. Still alive. 4 hits. That was fun, though.
Yeah, that was a great rally. Both teams leaving it all out. Dives from both teams on each side.
Selling Herdogan on the serve. Might have been an illegal dig. Meanwhile, we play on Herdogan to the front row. Got it over the net. Kill. Point awarded. Hulsman. She has been dominant in this second set. Herdogan again. 9-6 lead. Herdogan just 5-6. And the opposing libero in Gomez is 5-3. Straight over the net. And point awarded for Herdogan and the Wildcats.
Yeah, Elk Grove got to make an adjustment here. Down by 4. Wheeling just keep putting the pressure on them.
That was a beautiful set. Almost got the kill. Good job by Gomez. Now to the front row and then played by Hulsman. And a kill awarded for Dilag. They're not calling that, partner, so
no.
The front row players, you just got to be ready for it. Could you make the argument it's a double tap? Maybe, but they're not going to call that tonight.
Nope. As I say, Wheeling's been playing great so far out of the second half. The one miscue went over the net right there, and they made the pay, but get it right back.
Great kill. And we'll see how Elk Grove answers. You got to get to the front of the net really quickly, because if you don't, Hulsman's going to dominate you with those spikes.
Yeah.
It's Emmy Taba. She gets it over the net. From the mid-row to the front row. Partially blocked over to Herdogan. Still at the front row. Now to Lawson. It was off the hands that time of Witkowski. Point awarded for the woman in blue. And Elk Grove starting to feel it right now.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, here we go again. Bump to the front row. Tapped, goes off the net. Third hit, fourth hit. Break for Elk Grove.
Yep. And maybe that's the break that they needed to try and get back into this. They're only down by 4. Still a long way to go in this second set as well.
There'll be a serve for the Grens. They could really need they could really use an ace right here, but they won't get it. To the front row, goes off the hand of Moser. And a kill for Moser. Well, exciting volleyball. Looks like this one's going to the third set. It would be a huge comeback for the Grens. They're already down 13-8. Mid-row to the front row. Off the net. Actually, it looked like it went off the pole, so it's going to be a point award. Oh, no, they say Grens point.
And they went to the player that always gives them the point when they need it, Lauren Brunn.
Point awarded for Elk Grove. I thought initially the ref awarded it to Wheeling. Point awarded. Wheeling, block went out of bounds.
They were there. The rotation was there on that one. Just the block was misdirected a little bit. Elk Grove's got to start laying these blocks if they want to come back.
Off the hands of Gomez and to Gabor over the net. Good job by Stoimanova off the bench. That's why winning the first set so crucial to winning matches. You have one more set to work with. Asking a lot of Wheeling to win 2 in a row. Good bump that time by Kirshner. Now over the net. Soft moving ball, but it was good enough that time for Maya Hulsman. And the confidence, Chris, it's picking up right now for the Wildcats.
Yeah, without a doubt. It's getting 16-9 here. It's getting late for the Grens as they call a timeout. But yeah, Wildcats are flying high right now.
It would be just such a momentum changer for the Wildcats to win this set, knowing that they had lost 11 sets in a row.
Yeah.
Just finally get over the hump, get that, winning that set, and then going into the third and deciding set for the victory. They're playing well. Elk Grove, they played really well in the first set, getting to the front row quickly on block attempts. This set, they're a half step late.
Yeah, that's very, absolutely. They were winning everything in that first set, every 50-50 ball, everything that you could be winning, they were, and now it's all gone Wheeling's way. That's the way of high school sports, though. One thing happens, and then it just is crazy the next.
Right, because most of the players are at the same athletic level until you get that one player that's going to USC on a full-ride volleyball scholarship. 16-9 lead for the Wildcats. Christian will take it. 5'7" senior. Not a good serve and a break for the Grens, and that's something that Wheeling's got to work on. That's the second time we've seen that tonight, getting overconfident, lazy serve.
Yeah, and both times were right after the timeout that Elk Grove called.
So maybe icing the server? Is that a thing in volleyball now? Over the net it goes. Off the bump of Herdogan to the front row. Good block. And an even better dig by Moser. Oh, look at that no-look bump by Hulsman. Herdogan to the front row. Back to Hulsman. Blocked. Point awarded. Grenadiers. Daly. As the ball goes my way and I kick it back. Tried to anyways. Where'd it go? How did that happen? I kicked it forward. why I wasn't a soccer player, among many other reasons. It'll be Brunn for the Grens on the serve. Almost got the ace. Last second dig by Moser out of the front row. That time, kill awarded, Daly.
Momentum is shifting here. You can say it's easy to see the tide turn. Everything's going Gren's way after this second timeout.
Something about these timeouts. For a couple of points and rally scores, the Grens look refurbished and ready to go.
A whole different team, you could say.
Point awarded, kill. But after that initial energy from the timeout, then they go back to some of the mistakes they've made all season long. Substitution. Not always, though, is the record what your record says you are. That goes over the net. I hate making the analogy to other sports, but remember that year where the Seattle Seahawks finished the regular season 7-9, and then they beat the 11-5 Saints in the first round of the playoffs?
Yeah, absolutely.
So that Seahawks team was probably a little bit better than what their record said, and that 11-5 Saints team might not be as good as their record said they were.
You could have at one hand the unluckiest team somehow find a way into the playoffs, and the luckiest team end up losing.
Right.
What an effort there by Emma Gomez just to try and keep that up.
She's running out of time in her high school career, and she's laying it all on the line tonight, but she did not get that dig. If you're Elk Grove, you'd like to get to the 15s before the Wildcats get to the 20s.
Yeah.
Over the net it goes. Now over to Herdogan. Good pass, and it was delivered that time to Milacheva. Bump, does it stay in?
And it does.
I like the decision, though, by Hulsman. Too close to call. Let's
Yeah.
see if it stays in bounds.
You had a 5-point buffer at the time. 1 point couldn't mean much in that scenario. Maybe we go back and look at it if somehow Grens come back and win this one, but I don't think it will matter too much at the end of this set.
Right. There's nothing you're gonna. If you went after the balls, that's a ace for the Grens. But if Hulsman had went after that ball, there's not much she could do with it. She would have had to dive for it.
Yeah.
It's probably going to be a tough way to get the ball over the net anyways. I like the decision to not go after it. 18-15 to the front row. Now to Moser. Kill. Moser. But Elk Grove did what they had to. They got it to 15 before the Wildcats got it to 20.
Yeah, I would say, yeah, Wheeling is 6 points away from extending here. But Elk Grove has some momentum on their side right now. It's just will they overtake and take all of it?
Try to get it to your playmakers. Somehow that bump went over the net. Was it a double tap?
And they are saying Wheeling point.
Touching the net again. 2015 trouble brewing right now for the Grens. Need to go on a little bit of a run here. Set. Over to the front row. Off the bump. Spike was a beautiful one that time by Wattis. And point awarded for the Grens.
Coaching staff for Wheeling thought that was a touch there, but that was all white tape.
It's been a very well refereed game. I can't think of any plays that were that controversial that we need to talk about it.
No. The one that you could say was the stick where the ball went off the stick, but he was right in front of it, so you could definitely see it better than where we are right now.
I'll take his point of view where he's at. That was beautiful. There's not much that the front row that Elk Grove can do. You expect the spike, and then you just tap it over the net.
Nice little floater. Gomez tried to get it on the back with a dive, just unable to pancake it.
It'll now be Emi Taba on the serve. Bumped over to the front row. Good pass and blocked. A block and a beauty that time by Layla Conklin. 3 points away from going to the third and final set. Bumped over. Now from the mid row to the front row. Good pass that time by Hulsman. Now off the hand of Moser. And a point awarded and a kill awarded for Moser. Now over to Emmy Taba. On the serve, got it over the net. To the front row. Played that time by Rutkowski.
And we're at set point now.
Yep, this one's basically over. It would be the comeback of the year of the IHSA if Elk Grove scored 8 unanswered points. To the front row. Good job by Herdogan. Now to the front row still. It's played by Taba. Now to the back row to the front row. Still over that. Herdogan with a nice dig. To the back row. Now to the front row on the Elk Grove side. Spike attempt. Beautiful dig that time by Hulsman. To the front row. Off the hand of Lawson. Still alive. Beautiful play by Gomez. Hulsman answers with the bump. Set to the front row. Gets it over the net. Bump. 2 bumps. Now a spike coming up. Block. It was off the hands of Conklin. Still over the net. Hulsman plays it. Now to the front row. Point awarded for Elk Grove.
Yeah, before that point, I was going to say Elk Grove should be in kind of the similar mindset that Wheeling was let's get some momentum and let's bring it to the next match, next set.
Best rally score of the night. Dug out by Herdogan. Got it over the net, now to the front row. Good block. Kill! Layla Conklin, set, awarded, and won by the Wheelings. 25-17, the Wheeling Wildcats win that set. We're all knotted up at a set apiece. Can't ask for anything better if you're a volleyball fan. It goes to the third set.
Yeah.
And the way this match is going, it might be 25-23.
Yeah, it's been close. Each teams have been going at it the entire time. 25 points to someone loses their losing streak, and the other one continues. Obviously, everyone here is hoping that Elk Grove will snap theirs, but they definitely got to come out a little bit more energized and kind of finish that second set and start it with the third set.
What do you want to see from Elk Grove in this third and deciding set? You know they have an 8-match losing streak. You know that the potential of them winning the regional and winning the sectional is low. But you can't think about that right now. You just got to think about let's end the losing streak and let's get the victory. What is Coach Tara and her assistants telling her players right now?
Yeah, I would say if this was me, I would say forget everything that just happened. Forget our record. Forget everything that happened before this game. We got 25 points to win this game right here. Everything should be thinking about 25 points right here, senior night on your home court. That's somewhat of the message that I would give, and I think that's what I feel like she's giving her players as well.
Do you like rally scoring, or do you want to go back to the old style volleyball when you had to be serving to get the point?
I think the rally scoring is fun, and it keeps the game moving. And you could say that for the men's volleyball, especially, it's just serve, spike, and then the other team serve, spike. This one, definitely women's volleyball is a little more energetic with more rallies going. How do you feel about that?
I don't know. There are times I'd like to go back to the old style of volleyball. That way you actually know how the points were scored.
Yeah.
It made it simpler for the stats guys and for the people in the stands. How did we score? Oh, yeah, you could only score from your serve.
Yeah.
Whereas when it's 25, okay, how many of those were rally scores? How many of those were off blocks? How many of those were off service errors?
Yeah, that's I definitely understand that for sure.
But it is cool, like when you have all these different stats, because you can still have service errors, obviously, when you go to the old style of volleyball. But, when I was a kid back in the 1800s, and we were learning about volleyball, we learned, at least when I was in 4th grade, we were learning about the old volleyball rules where you had to serve to win the point, and now obviously it's rally scoring now. I like both, but there are sometimes I'd like to go back to the old style of volleyball.
Yeah, I would say definitely here at the high school level, you only have to win 2 sets. Rally scoring could go either way. You'll definitely have some people say the older scoring. But college level, you have to win 3 sets, best of 5. I think that's what definitely works best with the rally scoring. don't have those 3.5
Yeah.
hour games.
And the issue is that they're not professionals. Obviously, they're high school athletes. There could be an issue where both teams are struggling to get the ball over the net. And so, remember, you have to score when it's your serve.
Yeah.
So it could be, you could have long games. I don't think it would always happen, but
No, there's definitely more of a potential.
here we go. Third and deciding set. This is what we love in volleyball. In college, we want it to go to 5 sets. And in high school, we want it to go to 3.
Yep. Competitiveness. I think both teams, that's what we wanted out of this game. Both teams to be competitive with losing records, and I feel like we've definitely gotten that and some more.
Get your popcorn ready. Third set coming up. Here we go. Herdogan to the front row off the hands of Lawson. And what did they call there, Chris?
I believe another net touch by the Grens.
Sometimes volleyball can be a simple sport.
Yeah.
If you avoid the small mistakes, you can win matches. When you keep making the mistakes, you're going to lose.
That's right there is going to be the deciding factor here is how much can the freshman Angelica Dilak put on her shoulders to get this team to victory.
I have not seen her substituted out at all tonight. They want her on the floor as much as possible. And here comes Witkowski, the junior. Got it over the net. Herdogan to the front row. Bad spike. It was off the hand of Stoimanova. And a break for the Grens. If she had just gotten that ball straight down, it probably would have been a kill.
Absolutely. A little bit of a late rotation by Elk Grove, but it's all right. They came up with the point in the early lead.
Good block. Off the bump of Herdogan. Couldn't save it that time by Hulsman. Point awarded for the Grens. And if you're the Grens, you'd like to get it to 10 before the Wildcats get it to 5 or 6.
Yeah.
Over the net. It's a play over to the right side. Then over to Milocheva on the backhand. Sent over the net. To the front row. Gomez, good bump. To the front row. Sent over the net. Right over to the freshman that time, and Angelica Dilag, and she doesn't look like a freshman partner.
No, absolutely not. She has just been dominating every time she gets a chance. It is either a huge block or a huge kill.
4-1 score. Straight over the net. Over to Herdogan. To the front row, tapped over. Beautiful pass over to Milocheva. 4-2, and that's huge, partner. Between 4-2 and 5-1, that could change the complexion of this set.
Yeah, without question, and that's one thing Elk Grove hasn't been able to really defend too well today. Is one, those sets going over the nets are unstoppable, but they haven't been able to get the floaters down.
From the mid row to the front row, and on her back foot, it was delivered that time by Sanchez. And that's something that Elk Grove has to work on. Try not to pass so close to the bench. It's hard for your front row to get a good footing on that spike.
Yeah, definitely want to have some spacing where you could go anywhere on the floor.
Kill awarded. Nobody was home to block it. Gabor with the kill. Oh, no, she touched the net.
Difference there of 5-3 to 4-4 now.
Refs aren't calling much, but they are calling touching the net. Huge break for the Wheeling Wildcats. Over to the front row. Off the pole. Point awarded for the Wildcats. This could be more than 25 points. Could be a 26-24 score. Bumped over to the front row. Spike. Back over to the front row and Moser. Now to Lawson. To Hulsman. Point awarded, Grenadiers.
Looked like that he's calling that Wheeling stepped over the halfway point onto Elk Grove territory to give them the point.
5-5 score. It was 4-1 in favor of the Grens. Left-handed spike. Bumped over to Hulsman, now to Moser. Verdogen with a nice dig. Late dig that time by Hulsman, and she accidentally got it over the net. Blocked. Now a spike attempt. Didn't get much on it. Lawson on the bump. Semi-spike that time by Moser. Now to the front row.
What
Good
a
play
find.
that time by Brunn. What did you see on those passes from Elk Grove?
Yeah, much more efficient. Lauren Brunn made something out of nothing as the pass was meant to be going out towards the pole. She was able to adjust and find the open floor as there was 4 Wildcat defenders right in her way, just able to find the open floor.
Another serve coming up for the Grens. Got it over the net. And a bad pass from Moser.
Yeah, I think she was the only one that thought that was staying in. From our point of view, it looked like it was for sure going out.
7-5. Only time the ball's been going out is mostly on the serves. Over to the front row. Over the net, played by Gomez. Out of the front row again, tapped over. That time by Dylat. Got it over the net. Back on the Gren side. Spike partially blocked. Conklin couldn't get it. Point awarded, Grenadiers.
Lauren Brunn just has come up big here twice for the Grens, getting both points as well. So I think the Grenadiers have to keep feeding is Lauren Brunn, the senior. Let her eat on her night.
They got a lot of seniors to feed, though.
Yeah.
Over the net. And that's a tough spike, partner, when your body's going to the left and then you got to push it to the right. That's asking a lot out of your hips to do that.
Yeah. And trying to go across court as well.
That's a push. I don't call it, though. Are you surprised they didn't call that push on the Wheeling Wildcats?
that was a little wild there. Definitely, that one was more noticeable to the naked eye than the guys up on top. I think we weren't the only ones thinking that in the building here.
It's a big no call, too. It would have been 10-5 in favor of the Grens. But you know what? Bad calls happen. And what's interesting about being a ref is that's a point awarded for the Wildcats. 50% of the fans will always love you.
Yeah.
50% will always hate you.
Yeah, when I went to umpiring school in 7th grade, that was the main thing that they told us right there.
There's a lot of Royals fans who love Don Deckinger, and there's a lot of Cardinals fans who don't.
Yeah. Momentum has swung here from Elk Grove down towards Wheeling.
One call can do that. Look, the players still play. You gotta rise above it. Wow. 4 unanswered points. It looked like the Grens were going to walk away with a blowout in set number 3, but a good answer by the Wildcats.
Yeah, without doubt, it's all come here from the service of Emmy Taba.
Taba again, switching hands in the back row by Witkowski. In the front row, blocked, ball still loose. Now played by the Grenadiers. The mid row to the front row. Still in the front. Great play that time by Herdogan, and then bumped over by Hulsman. Played by Gabor, still in the front row. Over the net, and they just couldn't get it where they wanted it to go. Point awarded, Grenadiers.
Yeah, they went both times there on the attacks. Dilac was the one that they went to.
10-9. Fun volleyball tonight, and that's an understatement. Good serve. Verdogen on the dig. Trying to get over the net. Katie Moser says, my bad. How hard is it to spike that ball? You're going full speed, and you also got to keep it in play.
Yeah, and without touching the net as your body is moving towards the net.
Over to the front row from Taba, and straight into the net off the right hand of Lawson.
Great adjustment by the Grens to weather the storm, and now they're bringing their own storm here, getting back out on front.
So much energy was exerted by Wheeling to get it to 9-9. You wonder if they have enough in this third set. Front row, good pass over the net. Then played by Hulsman. Hulsman again on the spike. Hulsman too much. They want a review. Or they're also asking that Elk Grove touch the net. They got to be better, though, Parter. Too many times when they're spiking, they're getting too much on it. It's going out of play.
Yeah.
13-9. Good dig by Herdogan. It tapped over the net. Back to the Gren side. Gren's with it. Brunn to Herdogan. Front row, another push. That might have been legal, though. It was more set than a push.
Yeah.
It was iffy.
Yeah, Tabo with the finish gets to shut the door on the Grens as of right now. But yeah, you said it very well that there's a lot of energy going out on both sides here. Who's going to have the most of it to get over?
Yeah, that's why you don't want to get into a habit in volleyball to always be trailing, because you have to exert so much energy just to tie the score. Good kill, and Tampa says, my bad. Even if she had the ideal set, that ball was coming. That was a lot of velocity on that ball.
Yeah, Lauren Brunn did not miss that one. She wanted to put that one to the ground and have it go back up to the ceiling.
14-10. 3 in the front row for the Grens. Now to the Wildcats. Conklin with a beautiful spike and a kill. Well, they know how to answer, Chris, but once the Wildcats tie the score, then it goes back to the Grens. The Grens then go on a run.
Yeah, absolutely isn't. And for the Grens here now, it's just let's get it to 15, and then it's first to 25 still, but first to 10 in that sense. You want to just try and stay ahead. You could trade points right now because you got a 3-point buffer.
To the front row. Will it stay in? It won't.
And Sammy Daly hit a home run with that one.
That's why you like to start from the back row and work your way to the front row on the spike. When you're flat-footed, it's hard to get that ball to go straight down on the spike. No-look pass by Gomez and tapped over on the set. Another bump and spiked over. Went the wrong way on it. It was off the hands of Sanchez. 14-13 now.
Yep.
Every time I hear the name Annabelle Sanchez, it makes me think of that no-hitter that the man with that name threw for the Marlins.
Yeah.
He had a good career with the Tigers as well. Bumped over the net. And Krishnan on that bump. Now Hulsman blocking a beauty. Oh my goodness, with a dig by Krishnan. How did she dig that one out? Now to the front row. And that time just could not be dug out by Tampa. What a play by Krishnan to just keep that alive by the Wildcats, but too many good spikes by the Grens.
Yeah, the pressure was coming. When you got one up, the next one's coming right back at you. Watch out or dig it.
15-13, fun volleyball tonight. Tampa got in the way of her teammate and
never made it over the net.
Yeah, Tampa's got to be communicating better with Lawson. It sure looked like that was Lawson's ball all the way.
Yeah, without a question. They're taking the point off the board. And I think they're saying replay.
I have not seen this in a volleyball match before. Have you, Chris?
Oh, at my school, yes, we have our batting cages above each side. So whenever a ball gets up there, they have to replay it. But this current situation, no.
Oh my goodness, with a dig. That was close.
Yeah.
It did not hit the green line. What a break for the Wildcats. And Coach Tara might have to call timeout soon because that's almost demoralizing. You thought you had a 16-13 lead, then it has to be replayed, and now after that it's a point for the Wildcats. Dig by Gomez, and she accidentally dig it over the net. Got a Hulsman block.
Out of play.
Wow. All knotted up at 15.
I understand here putting in the senior Julia Jakorzinska. But they took out the freshman Dilag, and they could be hurting around the middle of the net. First opportunity was a point.
Yeah, the other thing is, too, though, Chris, how tired is number 11?
Yeah.
Sometimes a backup at 100% is better than somebody who's just dead tired.
Yeah.
Over to the Wildcats end. Did not
Point
go
Elk
straight
Grove.
over. Yeah, went to the right of the pole. It's kind of like that soccer conundrum, too.
Yeah.
Like, when do you take out your starter because there's so much cardio in soccer?
Yeah, without a doubt.
Dilag had not been, and she's back into the match, by the way.
Yep.
How much energy does she have left as she's played pretty much this entire match?
And they go right to her. They never made it over, though. We're knotted up at 16 here. It's a race to 9 points now. That's what you have to have the mindset.
Got to win by 2.
Exactly. Well, yeah, that as well.
Never seen that in a volleyball match where you got to reset. Interesting. Mistake, error committed by Daly. So we'll just have to shake it off.
Grens are going to have to find a way to just reset themselves. Ever since the reset that happened in the game where they had to replay the point, it's been all wheeling.
Good dig that time by Lawson. Verdogen partially blocked by the Grens. Now back to the Wildcats. Bumped over. 1 hit. Now 2. Make it 3. Can't dig it out. Lawson couldn't get the dig. Point awarded Grens.
The freshman may be the answer to reset the Grens.
It should be the answer on a lot of teams.
Yeah, without a doubt. She's been by far the best player on the court for both teams.
Verdogen to the front row. Both liberos playing excellent tonight. Point awarded, Grenadiers. After a slow start by Verdogen, she's been excellent. Gomez, maybe 1 or 2 times she's made a mistake.
Yeah.
Did that hit green? It did not.
That is what you can't have. You got a little bit of a rally going. Points are all going towards your side, and you can't just hit it out on a serve.
She thought she might get the ace, but that's just not a point in the game you want to try that. 18-18 meanwhile, and almost didn't get it over the net. Oh, tricky. Very tricky on that kill.
That was a great play by Layla Conklin. Everyone was going towards her right as she was moving towards the left. And she was able just to find some space on the floor.
Back and forth we go. It's a teeter-totter battle tonight. Set over to the front row. Oh, what a dig that time by Heelsman. Still in play. Verdogen to the front row off Lawson. Gomez with a nice dig. Then bumped over. Verdogen to the front row from Lawson to Moser. Partially blocked. Ball still live. And they get it over. Is it in play? No.
Nah. Fantastic rally there.
What a killer for the Elk Grove fan base. And that's definitely the right time to call a timeout.
Yeah.
You could see just how tired her players look. Coach Tara calling timeout, and boy, oh boy, this one stinks to lose for either team, but especially for Elk Grove.
Someone's got to win, someone's got to lose. Still quite a bit of time left in this game. Elk Grove certainly is not out of it. They got to find something quick here right off the timeout. Coach Tara's timeouts have been good. They've gotten points right after. Definitely in need of it now.
So obviously, both teams know that the best player on the court right now is Dilag. So for Elk Grove, how do they get it to Dilag without having to force feed it? And for Wheeling, how do you answer on the blocks?
Yeah, definitely for Elk Grove's side, just draw up the plays that have worked this entire match and hope that Wheeling can't come up with the stop on the spot for her. And for Wheeling, it's just keep the pressure up, try and not let that come down to the freshman. Yeah, you could say she's a freshman inexperienced, but like we've said before, she does not look like a freshman player.
She's going to be fun to watch 3 years from now when she's a senior. Over the net, Herdogan, the middle of the row. And now to the front row. And a kill awarded for the Elk Grove Grenadier.
And there it was, went to the freshman Dilag. And as well, another point after a timeout that Elk Grove has won. They've done a fantastic job of that tonight.
Mid-row, now to the front row. Lawson to Moser. Kill! Moser! Big answer for the Wildcats. And taking a seat will be Marlena Milocheva. Emi Taba on the serve. Time running out for the Grens. Taba. Mid-row of the Grens over the net. No double hit as it was blocked initially by Moser. Over the net. Switching hands is Gomez. To the front row. Getting over the net. Dug well by Hulsman. To the front row. Chance still alive.
Right at the net.
Herdogan says, get out of the way, I got this. Taba gets it over the net. Now to the Grenadier side. Oh, what a kill for the Grens.
Keeps them in the game.
You know, you don't think volleyball is a cardio-intensive sport, but you're dead wrong.
Oh, with 100%.
Because when Herdogan has to go out of the play like that, she's got to run back to the middle because when she's out of play, it kind of, all the rest of her teammates are out of sorts as well. Another service error and a killer for the Grens.
Yeah, this is just when you got to just stop trying to get an ace and keep the ball in play and let them make the mistakes. The difference right now is the two service errors. 2020 it could have been.
Got it over the net. Great dig that time by Moser to the front row. Hulsman out of bounds. Well, one team, the Grens with the service errors, and for Wheeling, way too many errors on the kill attempts.
Yeah, they're definitely hitting over the back line way too much. And Elk Groves as well as just touching the net. They've done a lot of that as freshman goes and takes a break.
Now the silly mistakes is why both teams probably have losing streaks right now.
Yeah. And we're 4 points away from one of those being broken.
Over the net, bump, set, spike coming up. Got it over the net, did Lawson. Bump, another set, spiked. Beautiful dig that time by Tava over the net. Point awarded, Wheeling. And Herdogan will take a brief seat.
2 points away is Wheeling.
Bump by Gomez. Gabor with it. Over the net, partially blocked. Christian answers. Taba over to Lawson, partially blocked. Dug out well by the Grens. Gomez with it now. Brun from one side of the court to the other and then bumped over by Taba to the front row. Got it over the net, partially blocked. Point awarded Grens. Oh my goodness, what a game tonight.
Yeah, this has been definitely a barn burner here in Elk Grove.
Conklin back in. Christian will take a seat. Herdogan into the match as well. This is big for the Grens. You really need to tie this up at 23. Straight over the net to the front row. Hulsman tapped over. Big kill. Ball still alive. And the Grens still alive as it's now on the side of the Wildcats.
Out of play.
Gomez with quite possibly a match-saving play. She gets a big hug from her teammate in Daly. Maybe one of the best broadcasts we've ever done at Elk Grove Television Sports. Timeout Wheeling. Just like I predicted, Chris, we're tied up at 23.
Yeah, this is it. You need 2 points here. Elk Grove has been doing a great job of it all day, is getting a point after the timeout. That's what's going to happen here. Who gets the point after the timeout? Who gets the advantage?
Remember, you got to win by 2, so no matter what, we're going to have at least 2 rally scores.
Yeah, without a doubt. And here's the camera.
Yeah.
It's been an absolute blast. Thanks to everyone at EGTV, as always, for producing this for us and for you guys at home.
It's been a fun one. Hope you're enjoying it wherever you're watching, Facebook, YouTube. I don't think we're live on ESPN, but we might be.
Not yet. It's soon to come.
Syndication contract on the way. It's a shame that one team's going to win, one team's going to lose. But you know what? Maybe after the match we can settle it with orange slices and juice boxes back when we were elementary school. Big edge for the Grenadiers. They're the ones serving. And when you're serving, you get to kind of set the pace.
Yeah, and the player of the match, Dilac, on the bench right now. They put the senior in there. The experience may come over talent right now. We'll see what happens.
To the front row off the hands of Taba. Spike attempt, partially blocked. Gomez gets it over the net. To the front row of Taba, partially blocked. Gomez again with another brilliant play. They got to get it over. They can't.
Elk Grove 1 point away. Jakorzinska came up huge for them on the first block attempt. And the second time out by Wheeling.
Yep, got to call it. Because that was a devastating point they gave up. Taba accidentally sent the ball backwards when she was trying to send it towards the front row. And what head coach Kopkowski is probably telling Taba, look, just shake that one off. You did your best. Sometimes it happens.
Yeah, and a heat of the moment there for Taba as well. Her coaching staff was yelling out, out, out. She probably couldn't hear it with all the noise. It's loud in here tonight.
At this point, I feel like it's going to be a 27-25 final score. Or maybe the Grens finish it up here.
Yeah, another timeout where Elk Grove won the point. Can they just do it one more time here and close it out?
Will they bring Dilag back on? They will not.
Nope.
It's up to the seniors to finish this one off. What a fun one in Elk Grove. And look, if Wheeling loses this match, they have nothing to be ashamed of. They played their heart out tonight.
Absolutely not. And as you said, every single player on Elk Grove is a senior right there. What a way to finish your home turf.
Over the net, mid-row to the front row, got it over. Bumped by Gabor to the front row. Left hand, beautiful play that time by Moser. Still alive, Herdogan, and then bumped over that time by Moser to the front row. Oh, what a great dig that time by Taba. Partially blocked. Gomez.
Into the net. Sanchez with the miss hit. Extra volleyball.
Yeah, she's not great on her left hand. Good scouting report by Kupkowski. They forced her in a spot where they had to pass it to Sanchez.
Yep.
And that was the third time tonight Sanchez has committed the service error. Attacking error, I should say.
Yeah.
24 all. Here we go.
And it goes out of play.
Sometimes you overthink yourself. Lawson thought you could get the ace.
Yeah.
Not a time to do that.
Absolutely not. Now comes in the Dilag special freshman in.
To the front row. No look pass.
Kept alive.
This could go to the 30s. Maya Hulsman will take the serve. Everybody from the Wheeling fan section on their feet. Dig, attack, kill.
Fine. What a play by Dilag. That's it. You just got to draw up the play, get her open in space. In comes Witkowski. Wheeling's had some trouble with their serves today. Let's see how they end it.
Do not try to get the ace, just get it over the net. Big time dig, and accidentally went over the net. Back and forth we go. What a fun volleyball match here in Elk Grove. Ball still alive. Lawson over to Herdogan. Moser. Oh, beautiful job by Brunn. And a kill awarded for Moser. 26 all. Stoimanova will take a seat. I mean, does either team have anything left? They got to be dead tired.
Yeah.
Front row. Oh, man. They say double hit. I don't think so. I think it was partially blocked the first time.
Yeah, I agree. Dilak with another kill.
Not much that Wheeling could do that time. It was a line drive spike. Tried to dig it out. Then it became a ping pong battle at that point with the digs. Possible match point. 27-26. Unreal. Both teams trying to get rid of a bad losing streak. Good bump to the front row. Blocked. Ball just stayed on the net for a half second. Mid-row play. Now to the front row. Grenadiers with it. Will that end the match?
It will.
It will. Well, you got to give credit to this officiating crew. They did not call double hits and pushes all night long. Could you argue it was a push? I'll let you call it, Chris.
No, that one you got to let go. Final point of the game. I thought that was clean there by Gubar, and they stormed the court here. It seems like this is the Super Bowl for the Grens.
How many times are you going to see a high school volleyball match that goes all 3 sets, and the third set final score 28-26?
Yeah, every single match was competitive too, not just this final one. It was an absolute blast. Just calling, being on here, man. I can't wait to see what happens with the rest of these two teams.
I can't wait to rewatch some of the highlights of tonight's match. It was a fun one, but final thoughts about tonight's match? I mean, this is probably the greatest volleyball match I've ever called.
Yeah, without question. I mean, Elk Grove certainly found tonight that Angelica Dilek is the real deal, and it's a great farewell to all the seniors here that get a match, get a win on your senior night, and hopefully take some momentum into the rest of the games and into the playoffs.
Well, we wish all the seniors the best of luck in college or whatever they want to do once they graduate in May. Abby Carlson, Annabelle Sanchez, Ella Duckman, Emma Gomez, Julia Jack-Warzinska, Lauren Brunn, Marissa Ayala, Morgan Keenley, and Reese Gabor. And for our excellent crew at Elk Grove, for Debbie Dennison, Scott Mayernick, and Chris Randall, I'm Kyle Smith signing off, and we'll see you next time on Elk Grove Television.